Welcome back. Today it's a very interesting day because we're going to be talking to a very interesting personality. Somebody I love to watch on screens. Somebody who, just like Shegun Arize, speaks so many languages. I like the fact that he speaks Igbo, he speaks Yoruba. I don't know whether he speaks Hausa. And he has made a lot of us.
It's a sort of conclusion to make that he speaks Hausa.
Oh, okay. Before we start speaking to him, Tommy is going to read us a bit about him.
Okay, so our guest this afternoon is Mr. Jude Chukwuka. Aku DK. Chukwuka. Okay. So he's a professional Nigerian actor, director, singer, and photographer. Really? Who has made renowned and extensive contributions to Nollywood. Jude was born in June 23rd, 1965 in Lagos, Nigeria. He began his acting career in 1973 with a drama presentation for Bishop Olubomi Okogie. He has showcased his versatility in numerous films and television series like King Invincible, Across the Rising Sun, Remembrance of a Forgotten Man, Yaomi, The Bride Price, The Man of God, and many more. Beyond entertainment, Jude is passionate about sports and tourism. He often promotes the history social media page. He is an influential Nigerian figure in Nigerian entertainment industry who has inspired many with his talent and dedication. Welcome to the veteran himself, Mr. Jude.
Okay. I'm going to start the interview today. Well, we're going to be talking family. I'm on your WhatsApp status, and I see that you post a lot about your family, your wife, your children, and I know that you're a grandfather.
Three times a grandfather.
3 times a grandfather.
Yeah.
Tell us life as a grandfather and life, because I know that, especially in what you do, marriage is not very easy.
Oh yeah.
So tell us how life has been as a married man.
Well, this is my second marriage. That's why I'm celebrating it that much. My first marriage crashed in 2011. I thought I was still in it. I didn't know it had crashed. You understand?
Yeah.
But I came to a very sad realization that it had failed, and it took me like 4 or 5 years to shake it off. Life came to a standstill for me until I ran into this wonderful woman who also had been broken. You understand? So people think we work well together. It's because we have been damaged. One's right hip is broken and the other's left hip is broken. So they see us work together and they feel, whoa, this will match themselves, not knowing that we are managing our brokenness and all that. So it's been wonderful. And the experience will not break me because I am a very optimistic person. I look at the bright side of life, no matter how difficult it is. I believe in that one single chance that is available, if it is available, and I'll take it. So that's how it has been. As a grandfather, it's been a wonderful experience. 7 years ago was when I had my first grandchild. And, like you reverse it, like you look at it and say, okay, this scripture has been performed, has been fulfilled in my life. Bible says you will see your children and your children's children. And that took me off. And I said, okay, 1 down, 2 to go. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. But there's nothing more wonderful than being a father who enjoys the respect of his children. You understand? Your children look up to you for guidance, counseling. They have teachers at school, but they will rather get their father's opinion. And because I'm open to conversation, I can put my phone on speaker now and talk to my first 2 girls, and the married one and the one after, you think they are my girls, The second one is my best friend, yeah. Baba Be, Emi Baba Be. you know. that is how the conversation flows and all that. She doesn't hide anything from me. She speaks with me. But every other, my first son is a drab. He keeps to himself. He doesn't talk. But you look at him and you know he's a very expressive person with his speech. If anything goes wrong, just looking at him, you know. But doesn't need to say anything with his mouth. Yeah. Then the youngest one, that is my current lastborn. I say current lastborn because it's just 3. And my wife is way younger than I am. So I look forward to, if possible, not leave him alone. It's African. I enjoy when she was defending Ned's position. And I believe that should be an African's position. Too many women in the world, so I keep one to yourself. But let's leave that. That's a conversation for another day.
I can hear that.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's say you're doing the world a favor.
No.
To do women. It's
Yes.
Are these women asking for favors?
They don't need to. No, they don't need to.
Depressed because they don't have.
And I promise you that it's not. That's not the
let's
move on.
Okay, if that's what you're doing, what are you recommending for those? They just face Jesus, I beg, leave matter.
There's one question that I always meant to ask you whenever I had the opportunity. I first took notice of you. I'd seen you quite a number of times, but I didn't pay attention. Now, the first time I paid attention to you was when you came out and declared yourself a Malian back then.
Oh yeah, 5 years back.
I began to think that is everything all right? And then I began to look into your versatility as a person, not just as an actor now. And I was amazed. Now, that movement seems to have sort of died down, or died a natural death. And I'm wondering what were those qualities that made you declare yourself at the time a Malian?
Very, very frankly, the movement may have fizzled, but we still have the issues he had raised. What's his name now? Aziz. What's his surname now? Fashola. Aziz Fashola saw a weakness in the system and he took advantage of it. And the system is still this weak. It is because of this Mohbad thing that caused the thing to die, not because they are not still there. You understand? And then I still told them I'd rather have Aziz Fashola than have that what was that oil company, this Umpadek or whatever, this Niger Delta, this Niger Delta oil, that guy that fainted at the Senate hearing after using 1.3 billion naira to build Plywood Bridge. I'd rather have Naira Marley 20 than have one of that one, because the damage that gentle looking devil is causing Nigeria is more than the damage 1 million Naira Marley will cause. You understand? So you are looking at symptoms and not looking at the problems. You understand? Naira Marley came out of a system that had failed. So what caused the system to fail? It is the leadership. So why? I don't know. I don't know your bias, but let me keep our conversation.
I have no bias on this point.
You know, I feel that the problems are still there. We've just glossed over it, and we're happy that the person that pricks our conscience to look in that direction has fizzled away. But that doesn't mean that we don't have the problem still hanging there. You say somebody doesn't use belt, and so what? The people that use coat are destroying Nigeria. The people that are clean shaven are destroying Nigeria. Their children don't have work, but they are millionaires. Their children don't have work in Europe, they are spending dollars and... Explain that to me. So the problems are still there. Let's leave Aziz Fashola, aka Naira Marley, out of it. But he just brought out that thing and I rode on it. You understand? And it's still there.
Did it hurt you that all the things that happened, that he was implicated in this, and later police investigation found out that it was not involved.
He was not complicit. I knew from the beginning that it was an attack on his person. You understand?
Do you have a personal relationship with him?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We talk. Okay. I knew it was an attack on his person. I knew everybody wants to take advantage of that situation to blow, kind of, because they were talking down on him. I believe give them that status that they have always wanted, and it gathered this mob effect. Nobody can. They don't reason. As long as it is a mob thing, if one person says let's go in this direction, everybody just goes boom. It was so bad that 3 years ago, January, I went to shoot in Ikorodu, and the boys came with machetes and all that, and said my son killed Mohbad. And I said, he is Aziz Fasholami and Jude Chukuka. How are we related? He's not my son. He's from Abeokuta, I'm from Delta State. What's the relationship? That is how the mob effect is. Some people are saying, and I was like, hello, my mother is from Delta State, the daughter of Obi of Ubuluku. So where did she relate to? You understand? So this thing, and talking of hurting me, yes, it hurt me that situation killed the career of an interesting person, somebody who acted as the negative part of our conscience that we look at and we say, how did this guy get this status? Funny enough, when the ruling party wanted to close their campaign, they invited him. He was the one that closed their campaign in Lagos. Yet he was irresponsible. So if they don't believe in what he's doing and his followership, they won't invite him. I don't know why we keep living in bubbles. The last the grand finale of the ruling party's campaign at Teslim Balogun Stadium, he was their special guest, which means they know that he has control and followership that they needed. So what's this hypocrisy about?
Very fascinated by the fact that you speak 2 languages from. I want to believe that it's just 2 Nigerian languages. 2
Nigerian languages, but I dabble in a bit of others. Not as proficient
Which
as
others?
I dabble a bit in effect. My neighbor, in fact, one of my very good friends, Mfonabong Ekwere, we're neighbors. You know, I grew up in Lawansin, and you know, our fathers don't talk to you. They just assume you understand our language, so they speak to you in their native, you know. When the informs father says, you Akauke, Jude, where are you going? When Jude Oko's father says, Jude, where are you going? You understand? So, because they relate to us in those languages, you are forced to understand so that you can respond to. You understand? Unlike this generation, when somebody talks to your child, you go and call police. Our generation is okay. Yeah.
So let's go to Nollywood now.
Thank you, Jerry.
You studied accountant.
Yes,
accounting,
yes.
Sorry.
Yes, accountancy.
With specialty in fraud.
No, I did fraud in my final year.
Oh, okay.
And that was when I realized I wasn't an accountant. And well, I'm academically sound. I can, yes, the financial accounting, the management accounting, the auditing and all that, public accounting, I can do all of those, sharp. But after a course in fraud, I realized you are not an accountant. And that was the biggest truth I ever told myself. You understand? I am not. Everything is an accountant is not supposed to be is what I am. I am too trusting. An accountant doesn't trust his shadow. You understand? Give an accountant the same document 10 times a day to sign. He will still read through. I won't. And that will put me in the deepest problems. So I told myself, what do you do that you enjoy very much? Talking to people, acting. So I just switched. I saw my accountancy program through, but I left the certificate for my parents to use because that's and I.
So how did you go into Nollywood? How were you able to? What was your entry point?
Okay, acting had always been a part of me. I started acting in 1973, the Holy Family Society of SS Mulumba and Davis, when Archbishop Olubunmi Okoje was just made the Bishop of Lagos. So he was visiting parishes. So we had to present a drama. The Holy Family Society in the church had to present a drama. It was this. What's this? That Jesus was saying, "Who is your neighbor?" That somebody went on a journey, was attacked by robbers, and he was beaten up. The priest came and walked by. The rabbi came and walked by. It was a stranger that saved him. I was one of the robbers that beat that guy. So that was where I acted, and this now we beat him and all that. And our coordinator then, God bless her soul now, Auntie Lucy, he's late now. He was like, "Wow, Jude, you did so well, you did so well." And guess what? On the day of performance, I took ill. I didn't perform. So, but that was where I can trace it back to that the interest started. I left it for a while. Then I started church, New Estate Baptist Church, 1992. Fortunately for me, Israel Ebo was also a member of the church. So he was also the drama director of the church. So we had one or two stints and said, "Jude, your performance is beyond church. Can you take it?" And he had a project then, Elecha Amadi's Concubine, and said, "Okay, let's get as adapted by God's will." Okay, he said, "Okay, Jude, take the script. Let's see what we can do." And that was how the journey started.
Well, sorry. Before I lose my thoughts, when I was preparing to do this interview, I read some things about you. One of the things I read was one of your interviews in which you said that your wife, when you guys are watching movies together and she sees people kiss, sometimes she says, "Oh, look how she's closing their eyes," and that you sometimes take her to set. So, I want to ask you, has that been an issue for you in taking a role?
No.
About maybe how your wife was.
No. I'm an actor. How the gynecologist say we look at a woman's part because of how the wife is feeling. That's the exact thing. I'm an actor. The script comes, if it has that in it, I should be able to do it to the point that my wife is jealous, which means I have carried out what my director said I should do. Okay? And if it has that, she should be with me on set so that when I finish, I will be, I will be, there's this word they use. No, I will be
able to carry it out.
Just finish the set and go to her, have a jeans play, and let her see that it is just okay. Let me give you a very funny incident that happened. Judith Audu, it was Judith Audu. We were shooting Shijuomi, so Nijak and he wanted to frame for a close because we were supposed to hug, and he wanted a close-up of that hug. So I was holding on to her. The naughty girl forgot that we had microphone on, and she made comment like, "Papa, you didn't enjoy my breast though." And meanwhile, director is hearing. I wasn't also conscious of the mic, but that thing in my head, the professional in me, just told her, "Well, it is for the meantime." And as you can notice, my prick no raise. So if you raise, if Niji here, Niji go decamp me. And immediately Nick just look back and say, thank God you know. You understand. So things like that go. You understand. When that passed, I had a conversation with Niji afterwards, and he looked at me and said, Jude, you're a different breed. Other actors run to such situations to be caught there for that moment of pleasure. And I said, it's not pleasure, it's work. The power to hold back yourself from expressing the pleasure that you ought to be feeling is stronger than the pleasure. And that was what took hold of me for that period. So I'm not afraid to take roles. I'm an actor. I'm an actor.
Okay. Going back to your starting as an actor, you said that when you did accounting or accountancy, that you got your certificate and took it to your parents and did that for them. You saw it through to the end. At the point that you saw it through to the end, how did you tell your parents that this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to diversify and go into something that you did not go to school to
Funny enough, my big sister too studied accountancy, which is part of the influence. You understand? And it was difficult for me to tell them, but they also knew that some things they spark for my brain, they ballet, you understand? I just told them, so I don't think I can continue with this. To the point that my senior sister just recently forgave me because of what I had achieved now acting. You understand? She got me a job at an insurance company that I turned down. I told her I wasn't ready for an 8 to 5 job, that if I try it, I will die. I'll just wither. That it's crazy to sit down doing the same thing. I tried it once in my life. It was an experience I didn't want to repeat. You understand? So I told her no. And when I went through my hard times, she will always remind me of the opportunity that I kicked. But for me, I believed in what I was doing, and I believed the counsel of a wise man who told me, if you cut grass for 20 years, you become a consultant at cutting grass. You understand? If you cut grass for 20 years, you become a consultant at cutting grass. So if you stay long somewhere, so I have earned my stripes in this industry. I have paid my dues by every standard. And where I am now, it's only God that could have done it.
So, looking at the industry now, a lot of people feel that our films should be selling our cultural heritage, because it looks like because of social media and a lot of things, most of the young people are losing touch of our culture. Some people even take pride in the fact that their children cannot speak Yoruba very well.
Oh man,
you understand? So, what do you think our industry, the Nollywood industry, can add to building our cultural and moral values back?
Oh, thank you very much for that question. This is the question I've been waiting for. You see, it saddens me. This late professor, this woman, Sophie Oluwole, said that there is no level of intelligence that can tie sticks together if there is no rope. No matter how smart you are, if you line sticks together, you can't tie them if there is no rope. And what ties these sticks together in our country is the language. The language is the skin to everything. It holds everything together. And as long as we are losing sight of that, where people are feeling that, like Shegun said, they are proud that their children can't speak their native, oh man, it almost kills me. But it's not all lost. Ayolo Anthony, the world is moving, the world is revolving, and we're going with it. But from what angle are you taking your going with it? What do you want to achieve by going with it? I believe our industry has plateaued.
Okay.
You understand? We may feel we have success because of these recent bursts, but can they repeat it? You understand? I don't want to mention titles, you understand, so that they will not say, but I know there are some titles, especially in the Yoruba genre, that has made headlines. Okay, let's give them 2 years and see whether they can come up with something new. Okay, not just this first bash. The first bash, yeah, but the thing that will push us or that will cause a drastic thing is how do we incorporate technology into telling our cultural stories. The Chinese have done it. The Indians have done it. I am not talking about America because America, there's no particular culture. Any culture is culture for them. You understand? But I'm looking at those that you can trace and say this is how they've always been. You understand? And westernization, globalization, and civilization has not caused them to derail. They are still pushing their cultures, they are pushing their films in their traditional languages. Okay? You may say they have the population that if their film only sells in their country, they will break even. Yeah, but that's true. But I also know there are 140 million Yorubas living outside of Nigeria. So if you incorporate technology and all that, and you have over 140 million Yoruba people living outside of Nigeria, then you are saying we are targeting that 140 million and their neighbors. So you have to up your ante, and not just them. It also becomes a wake-up call for the younger people. You understand? When they see how technology tells the story, if they don't watch the thing because of the story, they watch it because of the technology. And in watching it because of the technology, they will get the language. That's why I'm saying I am law and to. But unfortunately, when those that are supposed to be the biggest spenders, government, put down 10 billion for film production for various producers, what kind of a film do you want that to produce? Is it not a what they will use it to do? No, sister, it's see, I asked AI what will it cost, minimum it will cost one to do a globally acceptable movie, high risk and all that. It said $33 million. And I said, okay, what is the return on investment? And I said between 900 million to 1.2 billion dollars. And I said, okay. And I remember Onyema's comment when he said the guy that owns this airline, what's the name? Airpeace. He said there's no insurance company that can insure airplane in Nigeria. And we are bearing insurance company. They can't insure airplane. Okay, is there an economy that they cannot insure airplane that will shell out $33 million to shoot a film?
No.
What's the order?
Because we are running out of time.
I don't want to do what I did. It hurts me when I see people celebrate 1.2 billion naira returns on a film divided by 1,680. That's the true value of what that person has made. We are calling billion. Divide that figure by 1,680, which is what dollar is going for today. Then you know the true value. So that person's income doesn't even do a high risk film. And we are saying no. I know in our listeners' mind they will say, "No, Jude, okay, well, where are you? Well, what have you done?" The fact that I've not done anything doesn't mean I don't know where we should be going. Abi, this is a program that people are listening to. It should become a challenge in their minds that how do we make this the next level? Not the level that we are at now, where you sell a film, you do it 90 million naira for 1 billion naira. That's money to somebody who is poor in his mind. That's money to somebody who is poor in his mind. You make $1 billion, give source the dollar. You understand? So for me, I believe strongly that the biggest spender is government, and it is government that encourages industries to grow. And government will not invest in the industry if we've not prepared ourselves to receive it. You understand? You may know the president, and if you tell His Excellency at this point that you need 33 billion to do film, he will first look at you. Then he will touch your forehead in case you have malaria. You go $33 million. That will do it from. So what is the return on investment? How will we get our money back? If you can convince, of course, His Excellency is also a business person. He knows the value of business. He knows the value of money. If you can convince him to say, Your Excellency, if it has been done here, it has been done here, these are our projection, and these are the things we intend to do, the man will put 33 million naira when he knows you are going to get 900 million, and you are honest about it.
Okay, we are running out of time, and I'm asking this last question.
No, it's second to the last, because you asked me another one.
No, this last question.
I refuse. No, Nigba. I
see a lot of Yoruba movies, so-called Yoruba movies, and 80% of the language in the movies are English. Yeah. How does that make you feel?
It saddens me. It saddens me. People wonder why I speak this good Yoruba. I didn't study Yoruba in the university. I picked interest in that language and the culture because of people like Babalere Paima, like Edauni Leola, like Aisho Pepe of Blessed. You understand? Baba Gabriel Afolayan Kiloruko Adi Love. Those were the people that poured this thing. But unfortunately, the Yoruba children themselves don't need to prove themselves that they are Yoruba, as long as they have Yoruba name. Even some people in Edo State who bear Femi Dojaya and you just assume he's Yoruba, you understand? But so they don't need to prove themselves that they are Yoruba, so the language becomes secondary to them. But for somebody like me, I have to educate myself to the point that I can get that kind of attention when I speak it. So to answer your question, it saddens me. It makes my heart bleed. And you see, you visit your contemporary whose grandchild is Ope Mukbo, and he says, you say, what's your name? He said, my name is Ope Mukbo. And I look at the grandfather and look at the father. The words are used there. I can't use it on air. You understand? So I just looked at both of them. I say, so Ope Mukbo, láì ṣe àrìgìdì àkókò. Ṣé Yorùbá dé pí àbí pí ẹni bó ṣe mọ̀ pé nìyẹn. Wàá fún gbàdúrà pé pí dandan. You are not in the UK. Why are you killing this culture? You are killing it yourself. And it hurts me. Thank
you so much for coming. As we are rounding up, you said that should not be the last question. So the last question is, what movies should your fans look up to that you are in?
Oh, check it out, The Masked King. 28th of March. It was shot in Calabar. Oh man, serious. Shafi Bello, myself, Uzo Arukwe, it's Gideon Okeke, Shegun Arinze. It's coming to the cinemas. The premiere is coming up March 27th or 28th. I'll send you the things so you can put it on your platform.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. We are looking forward to that. It means it's an Easter movie to look forward to. Remember, Real Love is still in the cinema. If you love, go out and watch Timini, Shafi, Funke, Bimbo. And that what's the name of that new girl? TJ. She was so beautiful. Yeah. Summer Love. Summer Rush. Summer Rain is still also Bodaji Ogumola, Daniel Effiong, Michael Ejo. Beautiful movie. You must not miss it. Love Lockdown is also locking down the cinema. I love that movie. Detola Jones. And there's a new guy who you should look out for in Love Lockdown. He is going to give all those young guys who play Lover Boys a run for their money. He's a Ghanaian.
Oh, I figured.
But he played that role beautifully. So Love Lockdown is that the only love movie in the cinema that I've not seen yet is something about bricks.
Yeah, something about bricks.
And by the grace of God, I'm going to see it this weekend. Till next week, when we come back to speak Nollywood again, talk about the movies to watch in the cinema, talk about the movies to watch on YouTube. There's a Yebiye on YouTube. Beautiful movie. I've forgotten some of those love YouTube movies I saw over the weekend, but I'll share it across my social media platform. You need to see a lot of them. Thank you, Uncle Jude, for coming. It's been a very interesting, educative, informative edition with you. And I'm happy that you are the only one that was here today. So we had time to talk to you. Although time around so fast when you are being educated by somebody as learned as Uncle Jude. Thank you so much for coming. Till next week when we come back again here to talk about Nollywood. Keep watching Nollywood movies. I'm going
keep watching.
I'm going to keep watching Nollywood movie, and I'm going to keep celebrating Nollywood. I'm here with Tommy today, and we say thank you for listening. We shall be back next week.